Gentlemen, we're here with Michael Masarof, director and writer of First Love. How's it going?
It's great, thank you.
So, how did this film come to be?
Film came to be, basically I was, first off I'm a twin, and the story's about twins. I have a twin sister, and second, it came to be because I was living in Venice from New York, and I was living in a hotel room temporarily, and I thought, what would be an interesting movie but one twin locked in a hotel room and the other twin trying to save her.
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so were there any challenges in making this film?
Challenges in making film? Yeah, a lot. I mean, I wrote the script, started writing the script in the 2011, 2012, and I needed to raise the money, and it's a very personal, intimate story, and I knew that in order to find the funding it would take, how to connect to me personally. So I did a couple crowdfunding campaigns, we raised the money, and then basically from there it was a lot of finding a way to get it made, and eventually we met Annie and the rest of the cast, and that sort of led us into production, and from there we were able to do it. But yeah, it was a very tough challenge to get to that point, for sure.
I want to backtrack on something you said. You said that you wrote the script with the basic premise of the idea of one twin trapped in a room and another one trying to save him, and I find that fascinating because there's so much more to this movie. But if you break it down,
no, it's funny because I was like, at some point I was like, it's not a mystery per se or like a thriller, but it is sort of like, how is this one brother going to save his sister? I mean, trapped in a hotel room is a loose term, but she's trapped herself in a hotel room. She's confined herself because she's had this breakdown, and really the only person in the world that probably can save her is her twin brother. And we, I don't think the audience realizes that. I don't think the characters realize that. But that's sort of the goal of the movie is to find how do they connect again after these years apart.
Yeah, first of all, the film's fantastic. I want to praise you on your characters. How did you go about creating these multi-dimensional characters?
Yeah, I mean, again, the story's pretty personal to me, so I think I definitely took people from my own life and characters from my life. I think someone said yesterday during the screening that there's maybe a piece of me in every character. So, but the twins for sure. I sort of drew from my own relationship. I think any sibling relationship in general has that give and take, and I felt like part of it was you see siblings in movies a lot, but it's always very general. And I was like, what if you can make something really, really specific where you feel like, oh my goodness, that's like what I'm like with my sister or brother, and it's not just like. It's like there's tension, but there's also laughs, and there's like this where they can be really comfortable with each other in a second. And I think that was something I really wanted to focus in on, is like that naturalness of their relationship, and I think also like free willingness of their relationship, because I wanted this. People are people, and there isn't this. I think they have the capacity to be one way, 1 second, another way, another second. And I wanted to try to show that in film. So I think the key was just giving the characters the opportunity to explore.
You did a fantastic job. I loved it. My final question, casting. Everyone in this film was perfect. How did you get these amazing actors? So
casting the film was definitely a challenge. Sort of a dual thing. One was through connections, definitely connections. And then basically I think the one fun thing was when I met Annie, I was like, okay, it's really hard to cast a celebrity because you could either cast somebody who's already famous, and then it's sort of like they'd be playing themselves, or you sort of have to find someone who's not famous but has that star quality. And I remember I was having a hard time finding the Rebecca character played by Annie Heisey. And I had been talking to an agent at Gershon who represented a bunch of people, and at some point he was sending me a bunch of names, and he's like, oh, do you know her? And I said, no, I don't. And she was like, I'll set up a coffee. So we met for coffee, and literally I remember walking into the coffee shop, and she was in there, and she was dressed as a regular person, but I was like, that person's movies, when you meet a movie star and you have that feeling.
Yeah.
I was like, it turned out she was an amazing actor too, but it was almost I knew immediately that if she was willing to do the role, that she was going to be the right person for it, because she resonates. I mean, she has a glow.
Like an aura.
Aura, thank you.
Yeah. I want to thank you so much for this film. It's incredible. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, Michael.
Thank you.